If you own a 2017, 2018, or 2019 Harley-Davidson with a Milwaukee-Eight engine, I need you to pay very close attention to what I'm about to tell you. There's a movement happening right now, in December 2025, where smart owners of early Milwaukee-Eight bikes are quietly selling their motorcycles, not because they don't like them, not because they want to upgrade, but because they understand something that most Harley owners don't. They know that the window to get decent money for these bikes is closing fast. They know that values are dropping. They know about the oil sumping problem that Harley never recalled. And they know that if they wait too long, they're going to be stuck with a bike that nobody wants, and that's worth thousands less than it is today. In this video, I'm going to explain exactly why 2017 to 2019 Milwaukee-Eight owners are selling right now, why it's a smart financial move, what's different about these early M8 years versus later years, how much these bikes are worth today versus what they'll be worth in 6 months or a year, and what you should do if you own one of these bikes. Stay till the end because I'm going to give you the exact strategy for selling your early M8 before values collapse further. Make sure you smash that like button right now if you want to protect your investment and make smart financial decisions. Subscribe and hit the bell because this channel tells you the truth about Harley-Davidson that dealers and fanboys don't want you to hear. And if you own a 2017 to 2019 M8 and you're getting nervous watching this, good. That means you're paying attention. Let's get into it. Let me start by explaining what makes 2017, 2018, and 2019 Milwaukee-Eight engines different from 2020 and later models, because this is the foundation of everything else. When Harley launched the Milwaukee-Eight engine in 2017, it was supposed to be the future of the company. More power than the twin cam, smoother, more refined, better technology. And on paper it looked great. But within the first year of production, reports started coming in from owners and dealers about a serious problem. Oil sumping. Oil was accumulating in the crankcase instead of being properly scavenged back to the oil tank. This created a whole cascade of issues. Foamy oil with reduced lubricating properties, excess crankcase pressure, accelerated wear on bearings, cams, and other internal components. Some bikes were consuming oil at alarming rates. Some were leaving huge clouds of smoke on startup after sitting. And in the worst cases, engines were failing catastrophically at relatively low miles, 20,000, 30,000, sometimes less. Harley knew about this problem early. Dealers were reporting it. Owners were complaining on forums. But instead of immediately issuing a recall or retrofit program, Harley tried to downplay it. They claimed it only affected bikes that were idled excessively or used in specific conditions. They blamed owner behavior. They denied warranty claims when they could. They slow-walked acknowledgement of the problem. It wasn't until 2019 that Harley finally issued Technical Service Bulletin M1450, admitting there was an issue with the oil pump scavenge capacity on 2017 to 2019 models. And their solution? They redesigned the oil pump for 2020 models with increased scavenge capacity, problem solved for new bikes. But what about the hundreds of thousands of 2017, 2018, and 2019 bikes already on the road with the defective pump? Harley did nothing. No recall, no retrofit program, no offer to replace the pumps for free on existing bikes. They just left those owners hanging with ticking time bombs in their crankcases. Now we're in December 2025. Those 2017 models are 8 years old. The 2018s are 7 years old. The 2019s are 6 years old. And the used motorcycle market has figured out that these early Milwaukee-Eight years have a defect. Buyers know. Dealers know. Anyone who does 5 minutes of research knows. And that knowledge is destroying the resale value of these bikes. Let me show you the numbers. A 2019 Street Glide with the 107 Milwaukee-Eight and 20,000 miles is currently selling for around $18,000 to $20,000 in average condition. That same bike sold new for around $32,000, so it's lost $12,000 to $14,000 in value in 6 years. That's brutal depreciation. But here's the killer. A 2020 Street Glide, which is basically identical except for the updated oil pump with the same mileage, is selling for $22,000 to $24,000. That's a $4,000 difference purely because of the oil pump issue. The market is punishing 2017 to 2019 models specifically because of the known defect, and that gap is widening. 6 months ago, that difference was maybe $2,500 to $3,000. Now it's $4,000. In another 6 months, it'll probably be $5,000 or $6,000. The stigma is growing and values are falling. Smart owners are recognizing this trend and getting out now while they can still get reasonable money. They're selling their 2017 to 2019 bikes and either moving to a different brand, buying a 2020 plus Harley with the fixed pump, or just getting out of motorcycles entirely. But the key is they're selling now, not waiting and hoping things get better, because things are not going to get better. The problem is permanent. Every 2017 to 2019 Milwaukee-Eight will carry this stigma forever. 20 years from now, when people are shopping for used Harleys, they'll still avoid these years because the oil sumping issue is now part of the historical record. It's documented in TSBs, in forum posts, in videos like this. You can't make it go away. Let me tell you about a specific example. A guy named Robert owned a 2018 Road Glide Special that he bought new. Beautiful bike, vivid black, every option. He paid $34,000 out the door. Robert took great care of the bike, regular maintenance always. Garaged, low miles, maybe rode it 5,000 miles per year. By 2024, the bike had around 30,000 miles, and Robert started noticing oil consumption. He was adding a quart between oil changes. The bike would blow a little smoke on cold starts. He took it to his Harley dealer. They did an inspection and said, "Yeah, we're seeing evidence of the oil sumping issue. The crankcase has excess pressure. We recommend an oil pump replacement and possibly more depending on what we find when we get in there." They quoted him $4,500 for the pump replacement, plus potential additional costs if there was internal damage. Robert was furious. The bike was 6 years old with 30,000 miles and needed a major repair because of a known factory defect that Harley never recalled. He asked if warranty would cover it. No, warranty expired. He asked if Harley would provide any goodwill assistance given it's a known defect. The dealer contacted Harley Corporate. The answer was no. Robert could pay for the repair himself or pound sand. Robert decided to cut his losses. He listed the bike for sale, private party. He was honest about the oil consumption issue and disclosed the dealer's diagnosis. He priced it at $20,000, hoping to get $18,000. He got lowball offers of $15,000, $16,000. Eventually, he sold it for $17,500 to a guy who planned to do the pump replacement himself. Robert lost $16,500 on that bike in 6 years. Massive loss. But here's the thing. If Robert had sold the bike a year earlier, before the oil consumption got obvious, and before he had the dealer diagnosis on record, he probably could have gotten $21,000 or $22,000. He would have saved $3,000 to $4,000 by selling earlier. And if he'd sold it 2 years earlier, he could have gotten $25,000. By holding onto the bike hoping the problem would go away or that Harley would step up and help, Robert lost thousands in extra depreciation. The lesson? Sell early before problems become obvious and documented. Now, let's talk about the specific signs that your 2017 to 2019 Milwaukee-Eight is starting to show oil sumping issues. Because if you're seeing these signs, you need to sell immediately before the problem gets worse and your bike becomes unsellable. First sign is oil consumption between changes. If you're adding a quart or more of oil between 5,000-mile oil changes, that's not normal. Harley will tell you some oil consumption is acceptable, which is true for any engine. But if you're consistently adding oil, something's wrong. Second sign is smoke on cold start. If your bike blows blue or white smoke for the first few seconds after starting when it's been sitting overnight or longer, that's oil getting into the combustion chamber, probably because of crankcase pressure pushing it past rings or valve seals. Third sign is oil weeping from gaskets or seals. If you're seeing oil around the crankcase, primary cover, or other joints, that's often because internal crankcase pressure is too high and pushing oil past seals. Fourth sign is harder starting or rough idle when cold. Excess oil in the crankcase can affect compression and fuel mixture on startup. Fifth sign is a milky or foamy appearance to your oil when you check it. Normal oil should be transparent and fluid. If it looks foamy or emulsified, that means air is being whipped into it, which happens with oil sumping. If you're experiencing any of these signs, your bike has the oil sumping problem, and it's going to get worse over time. The smart move is to sell now before it gets bad enough that you have to disclose major problems to buyers or before you have catastrophic engine failure. Even if you're not seeing obvious symptoms yet, if you own a 2017 to 2019 M8, the clock is ticking. The problem is progressive. It might not show up until 40 or 50,000 miles. But it's coming. And when it arrives, your bike's value tanks. Here's another angle on this that people don't think about: insurance and financing. As the oil sumping issue becomes more widely known, insurance companies and lenders are starting to factor it into their risk assessments. Some lenders are now offering lower loan-to-value ratios on 2017 to 2019 M8 bikes, meaning they'll lend less money as a percentage of the bike's value because they know these bikes have higher default risk. Buyers can't get financed for as much, which suppresses demand and prices. Some insurance companies are charging higher premiums or being more strict about coverage on these models, again, because of known defect risk. This creates a downward spiral. Less financing available means fewer buyers can afford the bike. Fewer buyers means lower prices. Lower prices mean even less financing available. It's a cycle that feeds on itself, and early M8 owners are caught in it. Now let me address the argument that some people make. They say, well, I can just have the oil pump replaced with the updated 2020 Plus pump, and then my bike is fixed and worth the same as a 2020 model. Wrong. First, the pump replacement costs $4,500 to $6,000 depending on labor rates and whether any additional work is needed. That's money you'll never recoup in resale value. You might spend $5,000 on the pump and only see $1,000 or $1,500 bump in what buyers will pay, because buyers still see 2018 on the title and mentally categorize it as a problem year. Second, even with the pump replaced, there could already be internal damage from years of running with the defective pump: worn bearings, damaged cams, scored cylinder walls. That damage doesn't go away when you change the pump. Third, you have to convince buyers that the work was actually done and done correctly. You need documentation, receipts, proof that OEM parts were used. Many buyers will still be skeptical. The safest move for a buyer is to just avoid 2017 to 2019 models entirely and buy 2020 Plus. Why take the risk? So even with the pump upgraded, you're still fighting an uphill battle on resale. The smart move, if you own one of these bikes, is to sell it now as is and let the next owner deal with the pump issue. Price it slightly below market to move it quickly. Disclose that it's a pre-2020 model with the original pump so you're not accused of hiding anything. Find a buyer who's mechanically inclined and plans to do the pump upgrade themselves, or who doesn't care about the issue. Get out from under it. Take your money and either buy a 2020 Plus Harley, buy a different brand, or get out of motorcycles. But don't throw $5,000 at a pump replacement hoping to get that money back. You won't. Let me show you exactly what these bikes are worth today and where values are heading. I'm going to use Street Glide as the example because it's the most common model, but this applies to all Milwaukee-Eight models from 2017 to 2019. Road Glides, Softails, all of them. A 2017 Street Glide Special with 40,000 miles, average condition, is worth about $16,000 to $18,000 today in private party sale. That's what buyers are actually paying, not asking prices, actual sold prices. 6 months ago, that same bike was worth $18,000 to $19,000. That's $1,000 to $1,500 drop in 6 months. Project that forward. In another 6 months, it'll be $14,000 to $16,000. By end of 2026, it'll be $12,000 to $14,000. That's a $4,000 to $6,000 loss from today's value over the next 18 months. If you sell today at $17,000 versus waiting until late 2026 and selling at $13,000, that's a $4,000 difference. $4,000 in your pocket today versus evaporated into thin air. And the further you push it, the worse it gets. Because once these bikes hit that $10,000 to $12,000 range, you're competing with bikes that have salvage titles or serious problems. At that price point, buyers expect issues. Your bike becomes just another cheap, problematic, used Harley. Now compare that to a 2020 Street Glide Special with the same mileage. It's worth $22,000 to $23,000 today. In 6 months, it'll still be worth $21,000 to $22,000 because it doesn't have the defect stigma. That's a normal depreciation curve. The 2017 to 2019 models are depreciating at double or triple the normal rate because of the oil pump issue. That's why smart owners are bailing now. They see the math, they understand they're on a sinking ship, and the water is rising fast. Here's what you should do if you own a 2017, 2018, or 2019 Milwaukee-Eight Harley right now. First, check your bike carefully for any signs of oil, something I described earlier. Oil consumption, smoke, leaks, whatever. If you're seeing symptoms, you need to sell immediately, like this week. List it, price it to move, get it sold. If you're not seeing obvious symptoms yet, you still need to sell soon, but you have a little more time to get your ducks in a row. Second, determine what your bike is actually worth today. Don't look at inflated asking prices on CycleTrader. Look at completed sales, sold listings, what bikes actually went for. Be realistic. Your bike is worth what someone will pay for it, not what you think it should be worth or what you have invested in it. Third, get the bike in the best possible condition for sale. Detail it. Fix any minor issues. Make sure maintenance is up to date. Take good photos. Write an honest description. You want to present it as well as possible to get top dollar within the market range. Fourth, list it for sale everywhere. CycleTrader, Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, local forums, Harley owner groups. Cast a wide net. The more exposure, the faster it sells. Fifth, price it competitively. You're in a race against depreciation. Don't get greedy trying to squeeze every last dollar. Price it in the middle or slightly below market range and you'll sell faster. Holding out for top dollar means you sit on the bike longer while the value drops. Better to take $17,000 today than wait 3 months hoping for 18 and end up selling for 16 because values dropped. Sixth, be prepared to negotiate, but know your bottom line. Decide the minimum you'll accept and stick to it. If someone offers that number, take it and move on. Don't get emotionally attached to the bike or the negotiation. It's a depreciating asset you need to unload. Seventh, have all your documentation ready. Title, maintenance records, receipts for any work or upgrades, owner's manual, anything that shows the bike was cared for. This builds buyer confidence and helps you get more money. Eighth, be honest about the year and the oil pump issue if asked. Don't lie or hide it. You can be sued for misrepresentation if you knowingly conceal a defect. Just say, yes, it's a 2018, yes, it has the early oil pump design. No, I haven't had any issues with it, but I know some owners have, so I'm pricing it accordingly. Buyers will respect the honesty and you're protecting yourself legally. Once you sell, what should you do with the money? If you want to stay on a Harley, buy a 2020 or newer with the updated pump. You'll pay more than you sold your old bike for, but you'll have a bike without the defect hanging over it. If you're open to other brands, this is a great time to look at Indian. The Indian Chief and Challenger lines are fantastic bikes that compete directly with Harley Softails and touring bikes. They're well-made, powerful, comfortable, and Indian is a growing brand with strong dealer support. Or look at Japanese cruisers like Yamaha or Honda. Reliable, affordable, great value. The point is, don't automatically replace your 2017 to 2019 M8 with another early M8. That would be dumb. Move to something better. Or take the money and invest it, save it, use it for something that actually holds value instead of depreciating. Let me address one more thing. Some of you are thinking, I love my bike. It runs great. I don't want to sell it just because of some potential future problem. I get it. Emotional attachment to bikes is real. But here's the thing. This isn't about emotions. It's about math and money. Your bike is losing value rapidly specifically because of the oil pump defect, whether you've experienced problems or not. The market has decided these bikes are worth less. You can either accept that reality and act accordingly, or you can stick your head in the sand and lose thousands of dollars over the next year or two. If you really love Milwaukee-Eight Harleys, sell your 2017 to 2019, buy a 2020 Plus with the fixed pump, and love that one just as much without the defect risk. You'll sleep better knowing you're not riding a time bomb. Here's the bottom line. Smart 2017 to 2019, Milwaukee-Eight owners are selling right now in December 2025. Because they understand that values are dropping fast and will continue to drop as the oil-sumping defect stigma grows. They know that waiting means losing more money. They know the window to get decent money for these bikes is closing. They're cutting their losses and moving on to better bikes or different brands. If you own one of these bikes and you're not selling, you're making a mistake. You're watching your investment evaporate. You're ignoring math and reality because of emotion or denial. Don't be that person. Be smart. Sell now. Get what you can for it while there's still value left. Use that money for something better. Don't be the last person holding a worthless 2017 to 2019 M8, wondering why nobody will buy it. What do you think? Do you own a 2017 to 2019 Milwaukee-Eight? Are you seeing oil-sumping issues? Have you already sold yours? Are you planning to sell soon? Drop your story in the comments. Smash that like button if this video opened your eyes to the financial reality of early M8 ownership. Subscribe and hit the bell for more honest Harley content that protects your wallet. Share this with anyone you know who owns a 2017 to 2019 M8. They need to see this before they lose more money. Thanks for watching. Sell smart, move on. And remember, the best time to sell was yesterday, the second best time is today.